Hi kindergartners. This week, week number 2 in our remote learning packet, on page 20, it tells you to talk about the big book, Leo the Late Bloomer. And it also asks you to write about that story. So I'm going to read that story to you today. In another video, I'm also going to read a story called A Tiger Grows Up, which is another story from this week in our Journeys unit. So you can kind of talk to your family about how they're the same and how they're different. Right now I'm going to read you Leo the Late Bloomer. It was written by Robert Krause, and the pictures are by Jose Arruga. One big thing about both of these stories is the word change. The word change we use a lot. It means to become different. So I want you to think about the changes that Leo goes through as you hear this story. Leo couldn't do anything right. He couldn't read. He couldn't write. He couldn't draw. He was a sloppy eater, and he never said a word. "What's the matter with Leo?" asked Leo's father. "Nothing," said Leo's mother. "Leo is just a late bloomer." Better late than never, thought Leo's father. So you notice that all of his friends were able to do all of those things, but Leo couldn't, and you can see how that's making him feel. Every day, Leo's father watched him for signs of blooming. And every night, Leo's father watched him for signs of blooming. "Are you sure Leo's a bloomer?" asked Leo's father. "Patience," said Leo's mother. "A watched bloomer doesn't bloom." So Leo's father watched television instead of Leo. The snows came. Leo's father wasn't watching, but Leo still wasn't blooming. The trees budded. Leo's father wasn't watching, but Leo still wasn't blooming. Then one day, in his own good time, Leo bloomed. He could read. He could write. He could draw. He ate neatly. He also spoke, and it wasn't just a word. It was a whole sentence. And that sentence was, "I made it." All right. In your learning packet, it asks you to think about the big book and talk about how Leo changed as he grew up. So you can turn to one of your family members and talk about that. And then it asks you to draw and write about a time you learned something new. So you could draw about a time you learned to do something that you couldn't do before, like maybe riding a bike or doing the monkey bars or pushing yourself on the swings. So get to work. See you soon. Bye.